you all. Hope you and your families are in good health. I would like to start this afternoon's assembly by calling on Councillor Jubenville for our prayer and pledge today.
After a prayer, I'm going to make a little reading here. I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so perfectly bound to the stars, midnight racism and war, that the proclamation of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that. Who am I delivering? I believe that the unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. Dr. King. United States of America.
For which is indivisible, and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Councillor Jubenville. I'd like to call upon Councillor Duff for a motion to record advice and consent for the financial warrant.
So moved, Governor.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Second. By Councillor Hurley. All in favor, say aye.
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 I recognize Councillor for a motion to record advice and consent for the pending list of notaries, public, and justices of the peace.
You're not coming through clearly, Lieutenant Governor.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I recognize Councillor Anella for a motion to record advice and consent for the appointment of E. Kelleher III to the position of Associate Justice of the Housing Court.
Thank you. So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second by Councillor Kennedy. Is there, we may begin the roll call.
Councillor Duff?
Yes.
Yes. Councillor Kennedy?
Yes.
Councillor Hurley?
Yes.
Yes.
Councillor Ferrera?
Yes.
Yes.
Councillor Jubenville?
Yes.
Councillor Devaney?
Yes.
Councillor Iannella?
Yes.
Governor?
Thank you. I recognize Councillor Duff for a motion to record advice and consent for the appointment of Alexander Mitchell-Munevar to the position of Associate Justice of the Housing Court.
Thank you, Governor. It's my pleasure and honor to submit his name into nomination.
Second.
May I speak?
We may begin the roll call.
Can I speak a minute?
Oh, yes, please.
Sorry. Well, I think the nominee is a nice fellow, and he has a lot of good things in his past. And he was a good advocate for most of his career, which I like. The problem I have with him is his answers to questions were not on point. He wandered off without giving me the answer I wanted, a simple answer. Second thing about this, we have a very big PR campaign by him. It was probably, I don't know how many emails. So whenever I get that many emails, I wonder why. He certainly either knew about it or he was asked by people if they could call us. So he knew that they would do that. But to me, that's something I'm concerned with, that so many people would have to call if he was that good. Second of all, I don't think he understands the job of the judge. Continually referred to, like a lot of nominees do, that he's going to follow the rule of law. And what he doesn't understand is that judges don't follow the rule of law. Judges interpret the law by the facts based on the case before them. And they get overturned by appeals courts sometimes, but they interpret the law. So he kept going back to that in every example I gave him. I gave him two examples. On a 65-year-old woman who had underlying medical conditions. And during the pandemic, all her rent was paid up. She was paying every month. And the landlord wanted to bring somebody in with a new prospective tenant and go through the apartment, and she objected to that, even though it was in the lease. And I said, what would you do if that came before you? He finally said, well, I'd have to follow the lease. Well, there's a pandemic going on, and There's a lot of leases in the Commonwealth where tenants are supposed to pay rent, but they have been put on hold during this pandemic, and rightfully so. So he was going to endanger the life of the woman by bringing in somebody, and I didn't think that was right. I just didn't think it was right. The second example I gave him was a public housing tenants, and one of them received a medical marijuana from a doctor's prescription, and the tenancy indicated that no marijuana, so he started talking about the federal government, and I indicated to him that he wasn't going to be a judge in the federal government. In any event, he said he'd have to follow the tenancy, and I said, are you going to throw those people out on the street? And he said, well, I'd have to follow the lease. So, to me, those weren't good answers. I told him that. For all of the above, I want to say I wish him the best. I hope he becomes a great judge, and I'd be the first one to tell him it. But at this point, I'm not going to be able to vote. He's going to be confirmed by this council, but he's not going to be confirmed with my vote. Thank you very much.
Lieutenant Governor, Councilor. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to talk in support of this nominee, Alexander Mitchell-Munevar. I met with him for 4 hours. I got to know the personal. He wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He is not a political appointment. He has worked hard. He came from a lot of problems in his life, and he said that on his questionnaire. He didn't go into detail, but he has overcome all of that. And for him to come to this position, and because of his background, he is very compassionate. He reached out to people, especially to elderly with problems, and housing is the biggest issue that we're facing now. And I think in addition to all of his qualities, he speaks Spanish, which is a great asset on the housing court. So I will be voting proudly yes. Thank you.
Okay, we may begin the roll call.
Council Kennedy,
Yes.
Council Hurley,
Yes.
Council Ferrera,
Yes.
Council Jubinville,
No.
Council Davini,
Yes.
Council Iannella,
Yes.
Council Duff.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the work you're doing, both on the assembly, at your hearings, in between. I hope you are all well, and just be safe. We are promoting the importance of compliance. I want to thank all of you for doing your part and reminding people how important wearing the face coverings are when you go about, and the social distancing and the hygiene. As the governor has said repeatedly, COVID's not going on a summer break. It's very much here, and everyone has worked so hard to get to this point. We want to make sure that we continue to stay a place where there's low virus and low spread. So let's all keep doing our part so that we have a safe environment in which to live, to work, to move about. But let's do it responsibly, and everyone does their part. We'll continue to have success here. So thank you. Be safe.
I'd like to ask a moment of silence before we adjourn for John Lewis, who has, there is no one that I can think of who has gone through more physical cruelty, and he has worked for equality all these years with grace and kindness, and probably, the undeserving hero that we don't hear about. And I would like to have a moment of silence in memory of this fine person.
Thank you, Councilor. That concludes our business today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor.